Good morning, everyone. I'm Benji Messer, music director here. I use he, him pronouns. I'm glad to have UUCP musicians Bob Davis and Carol C.B. Benwell with me today. Thank you. Oh, just you wait. Today's service is about standing up for our beliefs and for our lives in the face of rising hate, and specifically in the face of rising oppression of our LGBTQ folks. So let's begin by singing Holly Near's anthem, "We Are a Gentle, Angry People," together. Feel free to stand or to stay seated. We are a gentle, angry people. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are gay and straight together. We are gay and straight together. Many colors. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are all in this together. We are all in this together. Singing, singing for our lives. We are all in this together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a peaceful, loving people. We are a peaceful, loving people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a peaceful, loving people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. Everyone hum with me, please.
Good morning. Can you all join me in a couple big, deep breaths? Welcome, welcome. I am the Reverend Christine Dance. My pronouns are she and her, and it is my honor to serve as the minister of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix. Welcome to you. Please find a place in our sanctuary where your body can be comfortable. We have multiple seating options. We've got a space in the back with art supplies. We've got shelves of sensory tools. We've got lots of space if you want to stand or stretch or sway. The doors right out there go out to a warm but private meditation garden where you can have some contemplative space. As we work on inclusion, we appreciate everyone thinking about and being open to what we all need in these spaces. A very special welcome to those of you who are joining for the first time. Do we have any first-timers here? I met a couple of you here at the door. Welcome. Welcome. The Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix strives to be a spiritual community for our time, for this time, it turns out, focused on diverse theological perspectives, radical inclusion, and knowing the issues of justice and equity shape everything that we do. And a special hello to all of us joining via Zoom and Facebook and YouTube. Can we all wave to our folks online, knowing we are one community, no matter how we are joining today? Hello to all of you. It is my honor to welcome up our worship associate, Bill Snowden.
And I'm Bill Snowden. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm your worship associate today. And our opening words are from a poem by a gay 14-year-old boy named Bo Erisman. The name of the poem is, "Can You See Me?" Just because you don't like what I am, just because you don't like what I've become, just because you don't like me, I will not disappear. I will not run away. I am not going to back down. I'm not weak. No, I am still here, here to stand tall, here to stand proud in the face of hate, pain, and anger. I am forever strong, forever bound with the power of peace and pride, and no one can tear me down. So join me as we recite our covenant, and Karen Schultz lights our chalice. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to share our strength in fellowship, thus do we covenant. Everything going on at UUCP can be found on our website, phoenixuu.org, and our weekly newsletter, Compass. The 2023 Heat Relief Network offers hydration, cooling, and heat relief respite centers throughout the valley. On Sunday, June 25th, you can join a community service gathering at 4 p.m. to help pack heat relief bags. Links to donate or register to participate are in the Civic Engagement webpage. Also happening on Sunday, June 25th at noon, UUCP member Igor Glenn will hold a Earth-themed open mic. This is your chance. We're all invited to listen and sing along. If you'd like to perform, please bring a song that touches in some way on environment, the natural world, or environmental concerns. Next week, Reverend Christine and our board president, Bunny Hodis, will be heading to Pittsburgh for our denomination's General Assembly. It is our final month of our UUA president, Reverend Dr. Susan Frederick Gray's 6-year term. So we have a card for her of gratitude and celebration for Susan that they'll be taking to give to her. Whether you know Susan or not, please sign so we can show the love to Reverend Susan.
It's right there
In the back table. Speaking of which, this is Reverend Christine's last service in the pulpit until August. But she'll be at our denominational General Assembly, and she'll be taking a couple of weeks off after the service as a minister at a high school camp at Camp de Venable Pines. Sounds cool. August will be our planning time for next year, so if you need something, you can reach out to our ministerial intern, Brigitte. Immediately following the service, we'll be having our congregational meeting. It's very important, where we'll vote on our budget, a slate of leaders, and a small bylaws change. We'll ask members on record to stay and be counted, and visitors are welcome to join, even though you can't vote. For our offering, we share the plate between UUCP and a different organization each week as a way to reflect our values. For June 2023, our Share the Plate partner is No More Deaths, No Más Muertes. The mission of No More Deaths is to end death and suffering in the Mexico-US borderlands through civic initiative. People of conscience working openly and in community to uphold fundamental human rights. Their work embraces the faith-based principles for immigration reform and focuses on the following themes. Direct aid extends the right to provide humanitarian assistance. Witness and responding. Consciousness raising. Global movement building. Encouraging a humane immigration policy. Please donate generously. For all you give to our congregation and our community partner, we are so grateful.
Thank you, everybody. Good morning, beloveds. Good morning. I'm Bricky DeVera. I use she, her pronouns, and it is together time. Woo! So anybody of all ages who wants to join me up here, I invite you all to come gather with me. Oh, Christine's coming. I see Robert, Bill. Skip on up, that's right. Wow, look at all these beautiful faces this morning. Welcome, welcome. Hello, beautiful people, both roomies and zoomies. Today, as Unitarian Universalists, love weaves through all we do. And one of the ways that we practice the way we love one another is we lean in and talk about the things that freak us out, that kind of make us scared and uncomfortable. We lean in to talk about the things that are hard and scary. I call them the big scaries. So, do you know that feeling you get when you're scared and you're nervous and you're not quite sure what to do, or maybe you've never had to do something before? That nervous feeling is called anxiety. And that is a very normal response to things that feel scary. For some of us, our palms might get sweaty. Does that happen, anybody? Yeah, that happens to me too. For others of us, our muscles will tense up. And for me, I know I'm feeling anxious when I always get that tummy ache. Ooh. Anxiety is really normal, and it's one of the ways in which our body is telling us, alert, alert, there's a threat. I'm trying to protect you. There are 4 ways our bodies try to protect us when we're feeling anxious about the big scaries in our lives. And we're going to act them out today. So I need 4 volunteers. Oh, come on up. Come on, John. Who else wants to participate? Thank you. Another John. And one more person. Woo! Thank you, everybody. All right, so let's gather up here so we can show everybody. Awesome. All right, and I'm gonna talk about the first protector that our body does when we're feeling anxious and afraid. The first protector is right here. Come on forward. Your name is fight. Show me a fighter pose. Ooh, there we go. Yeah! Well done. So this fighter part of us puts our bodies into action because we want to fight that big scary. We might get really mad. We might want to yell, scream, hit, attack. Go ahead. There we go. Right? It's trying to keep us safe, right? By telling us to fight. And if we gave it a voice, this is what the fighter would say.
I am not going to let you hurt me or my friends.
That's right. All right, fighter, come on over here and hold your fighter pose. Woo! The second protector is called flight. John, that's you. Sometimes our bodies want to run away. Show me what that looks like. That's right. We want to escape the thing that feels so scary, so we'll run in place. When we are in flight, we try to avoid and outrun the thing that terrifies us. Sometimes I'm not running, I just feel really fidgety, right? And when given a chance to speak, this is what the flighter in us wants to say.
Yikes, I gotta get out of here fast.
Yes, you do. Thank you, flighter. Our third protector that tries to keep us safe is called freeze. There are times when our bodies try to protect us by shutting down, to block the threat that feels so scary. Our mind might go blank, and it can become really hard to think. And we might even try to hide and feel alone. So show me freeze. Yes, there we go. This is what freeze would say. Oh, let me, Flighter, thank you. This is, it's running away. So Freeze, what would you say if you had a voice?
If I don't move, maybe the scary things won't know I'm here.
Yeah, I felt that before. That's right. Another protector we have is Fawn. Hello, Fawn. Fawn. F-A-W-N. Thank you. Let's talk about fawn. Fawn is when we try to appease or please the thing that scares us, to try to make it feel less overwhelming. So we try to not be the target by becoming its friend in some way, even when we know it might not be the right thing to do. When I'm fawning, I'll over-apologize for things that actually aren't my fault. And sometimes I don't say what needs to be said or do the thing that needs to be done because I'm scared. Yeah. So it's gonna feel like a tiptoe. You wanna tiptoe with me? There we go. And Fawn, what are you saying as you tiptoe?
I'm just trying to get everyone to get along. I know this.
Yes.
I'm a fawner.
You're a fawner. Okay, so tiptoe over here, fawner. So here's the thing. These 4 protectors, they live in each one of us. And all they're trying to do is keep us safe, right? But here's the thing that's really cool about being in our faith community. When we make time and space to share the big scaries of our lives, a 5th thing can happen. So join me over here and let's make a circle. Come on, Flighter. Fly on over here. Nice. Circle up. When we come together as a community and talk about the things that make us feel so afraid, a new shape takes place. Lift your arms. We begin to flock. That's right. Ooh, flock with us, everybody at home and here in the room. Yeah, when we flock, our anxiety goes down because we're learning how to keep one another safe. We're no longer alone in our anxious feelings, and we talk about the big scaries openly. And we find new solutions that we couldn't have found alone all by ourselves. And maybe we'll even start to fly. Yeah, so as you use today, we are called to flock together, beloveds. That's what we're going to do. So now I ask you to all flock back to your seats. Thank you.
Would you like this?
Sure. Thank you. And together, may we all flock to Freedom Land.
So flocking means sticking together, right? And there are a lot of, let's sing together. This is a classic civil rights song that keeps us sticking together. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. You can just hum over the intro. It goes like this. You're welcome to stand or to stay seated, whatever you'd prefer. Get the lyrics up there. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching on to freedom land. Ain't gonna let no hatred turn me around, no, turn me around. It says turn me around. Ain't gonna let no hatred turn me around. We're gonna keep on walking. Said we'll keep on talking now. I'm marching on to freedom land. No fascists. We're gonna let no fascists turn us around. We said turn us around. No, turn us around. Ain't gonna let no fascists turn us around. We're gonna keep on walking. Keep keep on talking, marching down freedom land. No violence, ain't gonna let no violence turn us around, turn us around. Gonna turn us around, ain't gonna let no violence turn us around. We said we'll keep on walking, keep on talking, marching on to freedom land. And nobody ain't gonna let nobody turn us around. We said turn us around, no, turn us around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn us around. We're gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching on to freedom land. Thank you all. Please be seated.
I mean, have you even ever done a protest song if you haven't done it on organ? That was so great. That was so great. It is the time when we share the joys and sorrows of our community. Being together, it is good to share and to support each other and to connect. Folks on Zoom, please feel free to put your name and a joy or sorrow in the chat. Those of you in person, there's a table in the back. I have several sheets here for you. Let us take a deep breath while we create space for the joys and the sorrows in our community. So I'm going to start with one because, and Benji, I didn't give you any warning on this. And Brigitte, I didn't give you any warning on this either. But Brigitte graduated last week. And I thought for any of us who didn't see it, I think you should take a graduation walk across the stage. We are so proud of our newest Master of Divinity. We've got several joys and sorrows here in the room. McCall also says they are on staff at camp. McCall is on staff at Camp de Benneville Pines for elementary and middle school. So I'll tell you what, you warm them up for the first 2 weeks. I'll come in for high school. We'll high five and trade off. Cool? That sounds great. And from Bela Perez, is Bela back there? There's Bela. Bela, topic is happiness. I saw my niece Elodie. She is very cute and she is very happy. And we are very happy that she's happy and that you got to see her. From Pete Creelman, who's right there, Pete, from a new job, part-time, I am excited to report that I'll be starting a new part-time job as a home care provider for people needing assistance in activities of daily living next week. May you be a blessing. From Pierre Theriault, Pierre's right there, about his friend Lydia. His friend Lydia is in a coma after a brain aneurysm bleed, hoping she will attend her daughter's wedding in October. Sending you big love in this scary, scary time. And our beloved Art DuPont, right there. Art lets us know of the death of his daughter. My daughter Leslie died yesterday. Today would have been her 56th birthday. And Art, we're sending you and your family big, big love as you go through this unimaginable tragedy. From our folks online, from Gina Gupton. Well, is this from Chad Johnson about Gina Gupton? I want, if Chad, if you can help me clarify, that would be great. Gina Gupton, a young, vibrant friend, mother and grandmother, has recently had a devastating stroke. Sending big love for that. So much scary things, hard things going on. And I will also just name, as we're going into this service talking about hard things, that tomorrow is the 7th anniversary of the Pulse shooting. And while that is hard for many people and many times for Karen and I who lived there and were part of the response, it is an incredibly touching, hard time for us as well. May we never, never forget. So, and Chad Johnson says, my wonderful wife Gina Hupton is cancer-free after almost a year of treatment. That's amazing and wonderful. We're so, so glad for you. I invite you into a time of meditation and prayer, knowing that for some of us, this is the only time in the week we actually stop and breathe and be. Center yourselves, put your feet on the floor if you wish. Take some deep breaths. I like to make sure that the tension is out of my jaw and stretch my hands where I often feel it as well. I invite you to receive this pride blessing. Let us remember that the best thing that we can be is ourselves. Let us remember to love and care for each other as if our lives depended on it. Let us remember to set aside time to carefully and lovingly respect the beautiful diversity of humanity. May we remember that there is no one way to do family. May we affirm that there are infinite genders and expressions. May we work for justice and to bring more beauty into this world. Pride is a time to dream of a more wondrous world, to bring more magic into reality, to show our gratitude for each other, to be bold in our loving of our friends, our family, our neighbors, and our community. We bless the magic that dwells among each and every one of us. May we all remember to shine and sparkle each and every day. May we know deep, deep in our beings that we are beloved parts of creation. Let us take a moment of silence to reflect on the beauty, and love, and pride within and around all of us. Amen. Blessed be, and Ashe.
This is a ballad from Joy Oladakun's new album. It's called Pride. It's easy to forget that you are strong. You've been pushing against the tide. You try to do it on your own. Those who try to cut you down are scared of their own truth. It's easy to forget that there are people just like you. A heart can break 1,000 1,000 times. No hands can take what's ours. They can't change the beauty that's inside. Pride. It's easy to forget there's nothing wrong. And the voices that make you doubt, they all have issues of their own. And those who try to cut you down are scared of their own truth. It's easy to forget that they are people just like you. A heart can break 1,000 times. No hands can take what's ours. They can't change the beauty that's inside. Love for my haters stuck in their anger. We won't apologize. Sooner or later they won't be afraid of what they're trying to fight. Oh, pride, pride, oh, pride, pride.
Thank you, Benji. So, beloveds, I first learned how to flock as my work as a faith organizer was showing up for racial justice, something called SURGE. SURGE is a national group that organizes hundreds of thousands of white people into the fights for economic and racial justice. As a faith organizer, one of the projects I've been working on in the past year is their Community Safety for All campaign. This is an initiative that works with faith groups across so many different religious organizations to examine its relationship to policing and police violence and engage in alternative harm reduction strategies. So, I spend my time outside of here working with churches and synagogues across the country to creatively invest in and prioritize non-police alternatives when it comes to all ways that we try to keep one another safe. We gather together to skill build and problem solve about a whole host of things, from break-ins and vandalism to conflicts in the community, issues around misconduct or medical emergencies, and anti-Semitic threats and violence from the alt-right. And in these conversations, I've noticed that there is always a big rumble. There's a rumble because safety and danger mean different things to different people. And that's because we move through the world in our bodies with different lived experiences that change based on the color of our skin, our gender identity, sexuality, age, documentation status, disability, and so many other identities. My work with SURGE has had me asking some really big, hard questions. What do faith communities mean when we talk about safety? What is being protected? Why is something being protected, and for whom and what purpose? So I've been working with other faith organizers across the country to train and resource faith folks to create this big shift around safety, a shift away from fear and police-based models that center the comfort of white people to a justice-based model that is anti-racist, anti-classist, and anti-ableist. And then something happens. when we unlearn the ways that we've been socialized to self-police and self-surveil each other, we have to learn to listen more deeply to one another and radically care for everyone in our community. And in that complicated process, new choices emerge. Choices about how we can reclaim our power. Choices about divesting from systems that perpetuate power over to building new systems that practice power with one another. And in this place of power sharing, it turns out that how we keep one another safe, it requires a totally different set of theological values and spiritual practices. But here's the really cool part. These values that we need to emerge, the new ones to create the new world we want to live in, I think they're the theological basis for our faith as Unitarian Universalists. Because we, beloveds, we are a people that centers love. And when we take the liberatory charge of our faith seriously, it's covenant and commitment, not comfort, that is the binding fabric that ties us together and actually is the motivating force to do the sacred work of collective transformation and liberation in our world. Today, we are living in a time of elevated state repression and the reality of rising white supremacist violence. Beloveds, we find ourselves in a moment that is demanding faithful discernment, a moment that is asking us, how will we, UUCP, you and me, how will we take care of one another as a community? My hope in us and hope for us is that in this moment, we lead from the covenant of care that binds us. That this is a moment where we honor the covenantal values of our faith, even when fear and uncertainty tempts us to outsource our safety to a harmful system. A moment where we join the larger movement that knows one thing to be true. We must fundamentally change the systems that we have built. And we must build new community-based models that honor the dignity of everyone. A moment like this is big, and beloveds, it's bold. And it's also a labor of love. But to do this work, we have to flock together. We have to flock and faithfully ask ourselves, who do we want to be? My prayer is that we meet this moment by living into theology of covenant and join the larger movement in good, full-bodied faith. May it be so.
She just graduated. She knows all that. Come on. Let's take another couple breaths together. I don't change sermon topics often, except for the year of the pandemic, and I changed them a lot. Whole bunch. We got to respond to this. We've got to respond to this. George Floyd was murdered. We need to respond to that. The Capitol was stormed. We need to respond to that. Don't think I've changed topics at all this year until today. If you've been around here for a while, you know that something that's very important to me in our ministry together is transparency. We are a community that works together, talks about money together, governs ourselves together, worships together. And in the spirit of transparency, I want to tell you that we've had some stuff You know I want to use a different word, right? We've had some stuff happening. In this Pride Month, in a national atmosphere when things are getting scarier and more threatening, we want to make sure that you know everything that is happening, what we are doing about it, and how we can respond. I'm going to pause a moment because we're going to practice some self-care for ourselves, the way that Brigitte has been showing us. Some of what I'm going to tell you is disturbing. It will land in scarier ways for folks who have LGBTQ+ identities, as well as people who have experienced harassment and trauma in the past. I will also say that this is a hard sermon for me, and yet it is also an empowering time for me. Let's take a moment to send love to each other, especially for those who it will be hard for. And if you have a little extra energy to give me, I will receive it as well. So let's talk about some incidents that have happened. Last April, right before worship, we were visited by Ethan Schmidt, an extreme right-winger and an anti-masker. Our safe congregation policy stopped him at the welcome desk. They came and got me. I got him outside. We called the police eventually, and he left before they arrived. For a very long and intense 7 minutes, he filmed his confrontation with us, where he covered the right-wing greatest hits. From masking to our Black Lives Matter sign, to our pride flag, to our theology. We do not believe he was a physical threat to us or was armed, but he did post that video, which spread to his other right-wing followers. That was the beginning of it. It happened to be the first day that we were back in the sanctuary after 2 years. I was shook. Last October, one of his followers, also a Christian white nationalist, put a drone over our campus when one of our schools was getting out, and there were kids with their parents going to their cars in the parking lot. He said all of the anti-queer tropes about us being groomers and pedophiles. As you can imagine, although he was talking about our congregation, the schools that had their children filmed were very freaked out. Then this year, in the first week of April, someone took a 1-minute edit of the original Ethan Schmidt video, focusing on him leaving down the steps and filming our banners as he was going out. They took that edit and they put it on an Instagram account with 44,000 followers, but it was obviously reposted because it had over 84,000 likes and 3,500 comments. We got emails, Facebook messages, and oddly, several one-star Google reviews. We had a little fun responding to those. But then I got an absolutely vile voicemail from one of them, wishing harm on our banners and wishing me dead. There have been a few other minor, relatively, or related incidents as well just recently. They are minor, but they are closer together and they seem to be amplifying. 2 weeks ago, someone came and cut down and took our pride banner. Not any of the other ones, but our pride banner. Last week, Ethan Schmidt took the re-edited video and put it on his page, which has fewer followers, but that same video is the awful gift that keeps on giving. And also last week, the UU congregation of Tucson was targeted by a man known to be a neo-Nazi who was oddly dressed in 1920s gangster outfit, which is funny but not relevant, but also just shows the absurdity of all of this. He is targeting the UU congregation of Tucson for supporting No More Deaths, which is our Share the Plate partner this month, and has increased scrutiny and has been ambushed by Border Patrol in the last month twice. Surely these two things are not a coincidence. While we were not the target, pictures of our banners in our front of our congregation were in that video. Let's take a deep breath. Let's think about what Brigitte said about what safety is and isn't. Let's put this into some context. We've heard in the media that Pride Month would create an increase in harassment and beyond. We've seen it from Target to the Tempe Center Hall, which had its pride flag burned this week. We have a member working for the city of Tempe in our congregation, and it's been very hard on them. My friends, we are not in usual times. This is not a love is love kind of pride season this year. This is they are outlawing gender-affirming healthcare, and people are needing to flee their home states or get arrested times. This is it seems to be acceptable for people to speak homophobic things out loud, and there are no ramifications in their social circles or public square times. This is let's see how many ways we can regulate people's bodies from their reproductive rights to their gender identity times. Even more, this is the time when bodies that are being particularly attacked are those of our children who don't have a voice in the political process. 30% of our trans youth currently live in states with bans on gender-confirming care. 30%, and that's only increasing. I feel I feel entitled to be upset with your faith, your identity, your values, etc. And it is absolutely normal for me to get on the internet, email, phone, and tell you how much I hate you time. This is the time when people can just go to a company, Target, Budweiser, Cracker Barrel. Really, who saw this coming with Cracker Barrel? But whatever. Can just go to a company and tell them that their pride merchandise or statement makes them upset. And many of these companies who have been profiting off of gay bodies for years now are getting scared and backing down time. This is the Supreme Court has threatened, no, not even threatened, it has offered, even volunteered that it would be open to overturning gay marriage time. This is the time, and this one's going to get worse, that we have candidates that are openly running with platforms that discriminate against LGBTQ folks, are anti-gay marriage, and are vehemently anti-trans. And they have tons of followers, potentially half of the voting population that agree with them. My beloveds, when our mission calls us to be a religious and spiritual community for our time, this is that time. June Jordan and then Alice Walker said, "We are the ones we've been waiting for." This is such a time. This isn't happening out there somewhere. It is happening right here in Arizona. In Phoenix, it is happening at our front door. It is happening here. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Now, I want to reassure you that our responses to these events have been thorough, thoughtful, and diligent Each time one of these are happening, it is taking anywhere between 10 and 30 hours of my time. We have a wide range of resources that we have found or who have found us, pages long. While I don't want to mention everything that we are doing because this is public and it turns out the internet is a very interesting place lately, I do want to call out a few. Most notably, the greatest resource that I have found in our community is the Jewish Community Resource Center, an organization established to help keep synagogues and Jewish organizations think about safety in an age of rampant anti-Semitism. They have been compassionate, diligent, and incredibly thoughtful and helpful in getting us resources and information. I'm also on a first-name basis with several right-wing watch groups. They're out there watching these right-wing extremists online and alerting us when something problematic is posted. That's so helpful so that we don't have to live in that scummy land. Our welcomers have been amazing. They have provided calm, non-anxious presence, but they have also been focusing on balancing the line between welcoming and watching for anything suspicious. And luckily, 5 years ago, our Safe Congregations team put together a thorough, thoughtful Safe Congregations policy. We've built a network of support and information with both progressive congregations in Phoenix and UU congregations in Arizona. And finally, we have created a response team who are going to be taking over the role that I have been playing of recording the information for each incident, taking the appropriate responses, and making sure that the people who are affected are getting the care that they need. And in a turn that can only be seen as the universe conspiring to help us, Brigida Vieira has this wealth of experience that she described from her Surge internship. She'll be working on the response team and helping us as we organize our responses and think about what safety means in these incredible times. Now, the other part of transparency is to tell you, as I've mentioned a few times in the last couple months, that this has impacted me. Now, first, I want to name my privilege here. I am white, I'm cisgender. Folks may not know I'm queer without researching me, and it turns out that the right-wingers didn't even look at my bio to see. They can't even imagine it. They're having problems with me being a female minister, much less a queer female minister. But I can pass. I have financial resources for protecting my home and getting therapy. And I don't have a lot of trauma in my background, which would make this harder. And yet, even with all of this privilege, even as strong as I think I am, as strong as I want to be, and as much as I think I can just talk my way out of this, I have had what can only be called a trauma response from all of this. It was particularly from that voicemail, but I think it was also the combined pressure of holding all of this together for the whole year. The founder of Somatic Experiencing, a type of therapy that I am doing to help me through this, names it as too much, too soon, too often. Can anyone relate? Too much, too soon, too often. Yeah, that.
We love you.
Oh, thank you. I love you too. The trauma response told my body that I was not safe doing my job. And as much as I tried to tell my mind to calm the bleep down, my body kept the score and said, nope, not safe, not going to do it, not going to let you do this. Now, it is not your job to fix this. That is mine. I am getting care for this. I have colleagues and friends surrounding me. Karen and I are locking down our personal footprints. But I want you to know that my body went into this response when this happened. And some of you may have experiences of your bodies responding to this as well. And I think this is an opportunity for us to look at how we can make everything trauma-informed. How can we assume that people are having traumatic responses to things and care and respond appropriately? My job is to get the help that I need. Part of your role is to recognize that you have a female and queer minister. Now, this congregation has had women ministers before, but I am your first gay one, and these things fall uniquely differently on me. And I understand my unique role to keep you safe. My unique role to be the figurehead in this congregation, to lead us through uncharted times again. Again. Can we have a boring year at UUCP sometime soon? Can we try it? I know my role as the figurehead. I know the vulnerability and the problems of me standing up here. I take these roles very seriously, and they can be a lot. And I want to make another connection for you. When I came to UUCP, I know a lot of you were excited to have an LGBTQ minister. And many of you cited my experience as a chaplain and a leader in my community in Orlando, Florida during the awful summer of Pulse as something that made me intriguing or notable. And I'm glad you think that. And you also need to know that that event also left a mark on me, a trauma that I will never fully reconcile. So these events hit me even closer, especially as we are in Pride Month, especially as the anniversary of the Pulse shooting comes up tomorrow. As much as I wish to tell you that I've got it all together, and I can put on a really great facade up here, the truth is that I am human and vulnerable, just like you. My job is to take care of me, but it would help greatly for you to understand how my identity and experiences impact me in this role. Okay, another deep breath. Who needs a deep breath? So I've told you what's happening. I've told you that we're not alone in experiencing this. I've told you how we're responding and our responses are solid. And I've told you how this impacts me. So now what? Well, now this is the part that is very reliant on you. I'm going to be honest. I'm getting really tired of responding to these asshats. I'm getting tired of getting calls from our watch group saying that they've done something else and we need to do the logistical things, the things that can take hours and are exhausting and important. I'm tired of being on the defense. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Now, this congregation showed up in the civil rights movement. We showed up when SB 1070 unjustly targeted our migrant siblings. We show up. That is what we do. And this is another time to show up. Yeah. This is not just in our country or our country in our county. It is on our front steps. We are the ones we've been waiting for. I want us to get creative. How can we respond in creative and empowering ways versus just reacting? How can we do things that make us feel not like victims, but like the champions of our values? We are the ones we've been waiting for. Join me in that. We are the ones we've been waiting for. I've left some sheets on your seats where you can write down your ideas and leave them at the table in the back with Susan's card, which you're going to sign because you want to sign it even if she doesn't know who you are. Fill them out, come up with ideas, be creative, be bold. We are the ones we've been waiting for. They took our pride flag, so you know what we did? Karen and I bought a 10-foot one and we hung it off of the ceiling. There's how we respond. We've got a sign on the flag that we've got that says, go ahead and take our flag. We'll just get bigger ones. And anytime anything happens, we're making a donation to 1 in 10 that helps our LGBTQ youth. We are the ones we've been waiting for. How do we show that we mean what our banners proclaim? It's not good enough that we just have them there and we keep replacing them. By the way, we have a backup in case they take that one. It's already printed. It's no problem. How do we not run away, but rather show up more boldly, more confidently, and with more commitment? Because we are the ones we've been waiting for. Do we have the courage and support to invite the drag queen storytime folks here to our congregation? It would bring protesters, and we'd need a big group to manage security. But do we want to promote the beauty of drag and the beautiful messages of inclusion and love that it brings for ourselves and our children? Because who are we waiting for? We are the ones we're waiting for. Do we reach out to the media? Do we partner with other organizations that are being affected? Do we host community resource gatherings where we share what we've learned? Because we've learned a lot. Do we turn this work into allyship for our Black Lives Matter Metro Phoenix siblings who are on all of the ways of harm that they experience? Do we show up at school boards meetings where our trans kids are on the front lines? We are the ones we're waiting for. Here's what I know. We cannot do nothing. We can't just sit here. And whether we wanted this fight or not, we're in it. It showed up to us, and it's waiting here now for us to respond. We are in it. Our beloveds are in it. Our country is in it. Our faith definitely needs to be in it. Now, my people, who are the ones that we've been waiting for? Who are the ones we've been waiting for? Let us be worthy of that cause.
Ashe. Y'all can stay standing. Y'all can stay standing. Please sing with me. Danny, let's get the lyrics up there. I'm gonna keep on moving forward. Oh, wait, let's get the right lyrics up there.
He's coming.
All right. Let's give it up again for Rev Christine while Danny gets the lyrics up there. Actually, you know what? You know what? Danny, if they're not easily accessible, you could just cut them. This one it's not hard to learn.
Pretty easy.
We can learn it by rote. The lyrics are, gonna keep on moving forward, gonna keep on moving forward, gonna keep on moving forward, never turning back, never turning back. We'll sing it real slow the first time. It goes like this. I'm gonna keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Oh, we got them up. Never turning back. turning back. Awesome. Let's go. Gonna keep on moving proudly. Keep on moving proudly. Keep on moving proudly. Never turning back. Never turning back. Loving boldly. Gonna keep on loving boldly. Keep on loving boldly. Keep on loving boldly. Never turning back. Never turning back. Singing loud. Gonna keep on singing loudly. Keep on singing loudly. Keep on singing loudly. Never turning back. Never turning back. Moving forward. Gonna keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back. Let's tag that. Never turning back. Never turning back. One more time. Never turning back. Here we go. Never turning
You all learn. You do it. This is so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. And this is just the beginning. We can do these things, right? Can we do these things? Can we do them together and with great love and with great activism and with great commitment? Let's do them together. Let's do them with love. Let's do them with pride. Let's do them with commitment, whether these things affect us or not, especially if they don't. Especially if they don't. This is our time to show up. Amen? Amen. Now, after this is very important out of the whole thing. It's the congregational meeting. It's the congregational meeting. Thank you so much. Yeah, I know. So here's a couple things, and then we'll get back. Fill out your forms and put them in the back. What are we going to do? What do we want to do? Let's figure out what we want to do. Huh? Yes, and we also have the card for Susan. If you've never met her before, she's amazing, and she's been leading our denomination for 6 years. Sign it. So today, that's Susan. Yeah. Are we going to go home and cry? It would be reasonable. Yes. We can. It's okay. Yes. It's a reasonable response. Yes, we might do that. Are we going to go home and have a fear? Are we going to flee, flock? Are we going to freeze? Are we going to do? It's also reasonable. Reasonable. Or are we going to flock together and do something? Let's do that. Let's do that. Go in peace. Go in love. Let's go to our congregational meeting. Give us 5 minutes to set up. Woo!